Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
I'm now joined by a resident economist, Marc Coleman. Marc, what were your thoughts on Budget 2024? And while much of the media coverage was reporting that it included €1.3 billion in income tax cuts, is that really an accurate assessment?
Karl, for a start, you've had very good commentary earlier on very specific measures, so I'll stay away from that and stick to the big picture. First of all, can I say the size of the package is welcome. I know it's been criticised by the Fiscal Advisory Council and others. I think Leo Varadkar was quite right and courteous to just politely, take issue with them. So the size of the package is welcome. It makes some inroads into the massive $17 billion in austerity tax hikes that are still largely there from the 2008 to 2013 era. But unfortunately, Karl, we can't say that taxation was cut by $1.3 billion. That's not accurate. What is true is that the tax measures amount to €1.3 billion, but they are dominated by the increase of €2,000 in the income tax standard rate cutoff point and increases in the personal tax credit, the employee tax credit and the earned income credit, as well as the home carer tax credit and the single-person child care tax credit and the incapacitated tax credit. They all amount to just over $1.1 billion. But Karl, the point is this. They don't cut taxes. What they do is they prevent stealth taxation. What is stealth taxation? Well, if you go back to when you and I were born, only 7 or 8% of people in this country were paying the top rate of tax. And that's what the top rate of tax was designed for. It was designed to be a high rate of tax that really was only going to hit people at the very top. But the successive governments failed to keep the tax rate band in line with inflation. Other countries like Germany index the tax rate band so that just in the way that pensions are indexed to inflation, just as the way some bonds are indexed to inflation, that the principle is that inflation goes up, wages go up. People should not be paying a higher rate of tax because they are pushed into it by the influence of inflation on their wages. Because it doesn't benefit them in real terms. They're not earning any more money, so they shouldn't be paying a higher rate of tax. But what we've done in Ireland is we've kept those tax bands static for so long that now over 1 million people are paying the top rate of tax, which is way out of whack with any normal other country. No, there's no country where nearly 40% of the population are paying the top rate of tax. So what this measure is welcome and great and good on the government for doing it and all that. But what it does is it begins to correct that long-term drift. And it certainly does make a decent dent in it, but it is not a tax cut. If we were to have tax justice, Karl, the 41% band in Germany is somewhere in the region of €60,000. You need to be earning €60,000 in Germany before you hit 41%. And the top rate in Germany is 45%. You need to be earning 150,000 or more. If we were to have a just set of tax bands, the ordinary punter earning 42 grand would be paying a marginal rate somewhere in the region of 30%. We're very far away from that. So describing this as a tax cut is not correct. Really, when I add up the tax measures, the only substantive one that I can see is the reduction in the universal social charge. And that amounts to around about 365 million. So I would put the actual amount of tax cuts in the budget at somewhere between 400 million and $500 million. And that still doesn't put much of a dent in the first figure I mentioned, which is that between 2008 and 2013, discretionary increases in taxation amounted to a staggering €17 billion. We're still carrying the weight of that on our shoulders. And on the back of the budget, which was welcome for other reasons, less than $3 billion of that has been reversed. So we're heading into an economy that is technically in recession with still the large weight of austerity taxation burdening down on our shoulders.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was our resident economist, Marc Coleman. And Marc will be joining us again on next Saturday's show.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.